Confront or affront? What's the difference?
One of the toughest types of false friends to be able to master is the type of false friend where two words have the same root, but they're not interchangeable and they end up meaning something completely different. This is something you see with words like terrible and terrific, for example, where they have the same root, but they can end up meaning something completely different. So today we're going to look at a pair of words that shares the same problem and which often trips up French speakers of English because they have that common root of front, but they are not exactly used in the same way. So today we're going to look at confront and affront. Confront comes from the medieval Latin word for being face to face with somebody. So you have the con prefix, which means together, and front, which actually means forehead. You still hear that in Spanish, for example, with the idea of your frente, your forehead. The front root also appears in affront, which comes from the late Latin affrontare, which means to strike against someone. And here is how we have an example of the origin of the word being able to help you remember the difference between the two words. Confront means going face to face with somebody. And second one, affront, means to strike or to insult someone. So in the first one, you can think of the position of the two people being together to try and solve something. And in the second one, think of the injury. So for our Francophone speakers of English, this is why confront and affronter can't always be used interchangeably. Confront doesn't always mean the same as affronter. So let's take a look at some examples. Confront. City Council will need to confront the budget deficit as soon as possible. They need to attack it. They need to handle that problem. Same with Lena doesn't want to confront her boss about being underpaid in this job. Again, we've got that idea of conflict, of people going face to face about an issue. Now, compare that with the issue that we've got with affront, where again, we've got that idea of insult, of causing injury to someone. The government received the threat of tariffs as an affront. It's not just that it's bad, it's almost insulting. The same way that the last example, non-consensual deepfakes have been called an affront to decent society. It's not just that it's bad, there's a sense of moral injury in there as well.
And as always, if you have any questions or any comments, don't hesitate to get in touch. I can be reached by email at detuatulearning@gmail.com or by Instagram at the handle @yourlyingteacher. Thanks very much and talk to you soon.